coach the Bears. I mean, people are saying Jim Harbaugh, and we went to a live remote with 670 the score, and some idiot called and said, why don't the Bears trade Jay Cutler for Jim Harbaugh? Well,
boy, could you imagine that?
I mean, first of all, Jim Harbaugh is not the right coach for the Bears. And second of all, why would...
well, he's got to be better than Mark Trestman,
I mean,
though.
Anyone's better than Mark Trestman, except why would the 49ers trade for another $100 million quarterback that's not living up to his salary when they already have one of those?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got one right here, so...
And the 49ers already have one that's even worse than Jay Cutler.
Yeah, I think he might be worse. He's... one more playoff game, so that was more of the team around him.
Yeah, the elite
rather
defense,
than him.
And a great offensive line, and a deep and talented receiving
That's
core.
where Michael Crabtree was actually good. He's having an awful year fantasy-wise. I'm very disappointed to have him on my team.
Because of his quarterback, how bad his core. Same with Anquan Bolden, Vernon Davis.
I know.
Brandon Lloyd, Stevie Johnson. They have all these guys, and their quarterback...
None of them are doing anything like either live in game or fantasy wise because of Colin Kaepernick.
Exactly. I give all the blame to him. I mean, he's such a horrible quarterback. I don't know why they gave him that money. I mean,
I think I think it's sort of like a Cutler deal where like in Cutler's case I mean in Jay Cutler's case he was always hurt and stuff, so they gave him the money because they still thought he was good. But then, in Colin Kaepernick's case, he brought them to 2 NFC championships. He brought them to a Super Bowl. So I think, they thought he was worthy of the money, sort of.
Except the funny thing is, almost any quarterback, any, mediocre quarterback could have gotten into the championship game and the Super Bowl those 3 years.
Right. I mean, take a look at the Lions and Stafford. I'm not a big fan of Matthew Stafford. We don't think he's, that good. I mean, he's okay. He's a serviceable quarterback. He's average. But I wouldn't say he's by any means in the top 10 necessarily of the NFL.
Right. I mean, he's having a bad year.
He's having a bad year, and the Lions are 10-4. So that just sort of shows you, it doesn't all have to do with the quarterback, obviously.
Right. I mean, he only has 19 touchdown passes and 11 interceptions. Something's wrong. I mean, he's racking up the yards except not getting into the end zone, and he doesn't have much of a run game. I mean, I guess that's why you go 2 games without scoring a touchdown, except then you play the Bears and then you score 3 weeks worth of touchdowns in that game.
Right. All right, let's take a look at some fantasy stuff in our league anyway.
Every team's projected to get 130 points this week.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm actually my brother now is projected to get 132. I'm projected to get 129.
Did he edit his lineup?
He might have put in. I think he put in Frank Gore.
Because Hyde's out.
He had Chris Johnson and he put in Frank Gore. I think that was the difference of the extra 2 points there.
Is it a divided household at home right now?
Not really. My brother's pretty confident that he'll win. I'm pretty confident that I'll lose. So just because I've lost to him twice in the regular season. I lost to him the final week, and then I lost to him in a close game, week 2, I think it was, 99-95. So we got that, and then the other game
you
is...
and me score more points, total points this season than him?
I believe we did. I think we did. I can check it.
I think you and me, it was Luke, Wave, you and me that were the top 3 in points.
Right. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but going back to the scoreboard, yeah, so in the winners bracket, the final 4 teams now, I'm the number 4 seed. I'm facing off against San Jose Wombats, and then Luke Wave, the number 3 seed, is who you are hosting, Ryan Risky, as you are the fire-breathing rubber duckies, and you are projected, I mean, the line is even, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
Technically, I'm projected to get 132 because of the home field advantage.
Right, because the home field advantage is 2 points, although at this point, that's probably not going to matter. But
maybe we should have kept it at 5 for the playoffs.
just so you could, solidify the win, hopefully.
I need every point I can get against this guy. He was scoring 130
He's definitely,
points a week.
Throughout the middle of the season, he was definitely the hottest team. No doubt about that.
I wish I played him that week that I had 175 points though.
Right.
When I had the most points of any team in the league.
Right. And then of course I was pretty much all season I traded wins and losses. I ended up 8-6 in the regular season. My brother was the best team at 12-2. But yeah.
Oh my God, my team was sure something. Win the first 6 games, lose the next 5, win the next 3.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising, and you ended up a game ahead of me just because I ended the season on a 2-game losing streak, which is why I was very concerned going into the playoffs, and then I only won by a point. If I didn't have home field advantage, I would have lost by a point, so that would have been very disappointing to me. And then, of course, the other 6 teams are in consolation, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of those teams are the teams that didn't even care. I just hope that Andrew Freeman didn't make the playoffs.
I think it's funny.
I think it's funny, too. I mean, I didn't know who I wanted to win that game between him and Ashish, because whoever won got in the playoffs, and I didn't want Ashish in there, except I think it's just funny that Freeman's not in there.
Well, it's like I think we knew. I mean, he thought he was good at sports. I think we sort of knew that wasn't true. Yeah. Although he's having a good year in fantasy basketball. A lot of that's having to do with luck so far.
Yeah, he's had a very convenient schedule. I would have beaten him on most of my weeks, and I saw that I'm still dominating the fantasy basketball league in 3-pointers made and 3-point percentage.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising. I didn't realize you had all these good 3-point shooters on your team.
Yeah, that's all I have, though. I mean, that's literally all my team.
My team is loaded with power forwards and centers, and that's not really doing too well so far.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, your team doesn't have very much shooting.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I got Danny Green, who's a good 3-point shooter.
So he started out the season really slow.
Right. Now he's doing pretty good now. I have Oladipo, who was hurt. He's getting now that he's back, he's doing pretty well. I have Damian Lillard, who's a good 3-point shooter. So I got a couple people, but yeah.
I mean, Joakim Noah hasn't really been living up to the hype of the second-round pick.
He's not scoring a lot, and he was my 3rd-round pick. My 2nd-round pick was actually Oladipo, and then my 3rd-round pick was Noah. 4th-round pick was Rose. So that's, I don't know how that's really doing, but
you took Oladipo in the 2nd round.
I did. I took Oladipo in the 2nd round. He was ranked really high.
Boy, I would have never taken him that high. I didn't even have him on my draft board. The only thing I regret about the draft is being an idiot and drafting Kawhi Leonard in the 1st round. I don't even know why I did that. If I would have drafted someone like DeMarcus Cousins or LaMarcus Aldridge, who I should have taken, then my team would be so much better because I'd have another 20-point scorer and a guy that would get me rebound, that averaged 12 rebounds, where Leonard doesn't play half of the time and he averages like 13 points and 7 rebounds.
Right. Going back to the fantasy football before we take a break, you are right. We both have scored more points than San Jose Wombats.
Yeah, so maybe the schedule favored. And
I've scored more points than Luke Wave.
Wait, who led the league in points?
I think, let's see, I did by 4 points.
You had the most in the league?
And I'm 8-6. Yeah, I have 1,566. Luke Wave had 1,561.
How much did I? Was I in the 1400s?
No, the 1500s. You were 3rd with 1,537. So we were all fairly close, but I had the most points, and I was 4-3 at home, 4-3 away. Not that matters. I was 6-2 in my division. The 2 division losses coming to you. So that's a big reason.
Wait, really? I'm the only one in the division that beat you?
Well, you were 6.
I beat you twice.
Yes. You beat me twice. That's how I got my 2 losses in the division. You also finished 6-2 in the division. So you must have lost.
That must have been during my 5-game losing streak.
Yeah, I'm assuming both those came from your 5-game losing streak. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with all that stuff. I don't know.
In my other league, the guy that led the league in points, he led the league in points by over 100. He finished 6-8.
Yeah, and I led the league in points by just 5 points, but I ended up 8-6. So I'm not too happy about that. Now that I've seen that, because I was just trying to find it, but now that I've seen that, that kind of makes me mad a little bit. But yeah, this is going to be an exciting end to fantasy football as we see who goes to the championship round next week.
Does your brother think he's going to win?
Yeah, he thinks he's going to win. I think he's probably going to win, too. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting on Sunday. I have the Cardinals defense. I'm playing the Arizona Cardinals defense against Seattle. So that's either going to make or break me if I'm in it or not. So that'll be really interesting to see what happens. And I think, let me check my brother's team real quick before we go to break. I think does he have anybody Sunday night? No, he does not.
Or Saturday. Here, let's see.
He has Frank Gore playing Saturday. That's it. All my teams are Sunday and Monday.
Let's see. This is my other league, because in my other league I'm playing Matt Ryan over Phillip Rivers, only for the fact that Phillip Rivers is playing with some bad injuries right now, with that back and rib. 4 injuries: a severe back injury, a rib injury, a chest injury, and a knee injury.
For you have Phillip Rivers playing Saturday, and then you also have the Eagles defense playing. So that's
I don't even have another quarterback, so I have to start Rivers. And I'm getting worried about Julio Jones, because I don't know who to start instead of him, because Keenan Allen's out.
Right. And for me, everything is on Sunday, and then I have Demaryius Thomas playing Monday night. So hopefully he can have a big game. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with all that. But for now, we're going to take a break, and then we will do our NFL Week 16 picks, and we will recap Week 15 to show you who won. So, you're listening to Fantasy Fanatics, SportsTownChicago.com. The Fantasy Fanatics Podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.